Hello again to all of my City Skylines people, and welcome back to Hilland Bay. This is Phoenix Creates, and we're back with another step forward in building out this city. Fixing what needs fixing, expanding where we can, and trying to make every new area feel just a little better than the last. Whether you've been here since the beginning, or you've just found your way here today, I'm glad you're along for the ride. The city's come a long way since its humble beginnings, and I've come back and reworked a few older areas here and there, just to tie things together and make it all feel a bit more scenic, a bit more cohesive. But as always, no matter how polished things look on the surface, something's bound to go sideways eventually. In the last episode, we finally got around to building our first proper office park, something structured, polished, and purposely built. I spent a lot of time dialing in the layout, setting up wide parking lots, planting trees, and trying to make the whole thing feel like a professional, well-maintained space. We even gave it a name to make it feel official. And sure, the buildings are doing great, offices are filling up, jobs are being taken, but those big parking lots, practically untouched. For all that effort, it's like the employees are arriving by teleportation. Not exactly what I expected. And if that wasn't weird enough, our population is dropping yet again. Fast. We're losing somewhere around 500 people an hour, and I'm starting to feel like Hilland Bay is going through a midlife crisis. So, starting the day off, I'm going to be putting the bulldozer down for a minute and playing detective. What's actually going on here? Is it zoning issues? Broken services? Are our citizens just tired of the roundabouts? Whatever it is, we're going to figure it out, or at least make a few bold guesses that sound convincing. Because before we build more, we've got to stop the bleeding. Hilland Bay can't grow if it's shrinking. Let's dive in. So after poking around for a while, I finally found the root of our population problem. It's not zoning, or traffic, or lack of parking. It's services, or more accurately, the lack of services. You know, I am definitely no expert at this game. And the more I play it, the more I find things that I didn't know about before. For example, I never noticed this little happiness meter down here on the bottom right, with the little emoji faces. This meter tells me just how happy my citizens are. I mean, I guess I've seen it before, but I've never really looked at it close enough. And if you hover over top of it, you get a breakdown of exactly what your people's concerns are. And it turns out, crime is becoming a real issue in Hilland Bay. We have a negative 14 happiness on high crime risk. That tells me right there, we need to look into that and solve it quick. I pulled up the crime heat map and yeah, not great. Let's just say some of these neighborhoods are less quiet suburb and more Grand Theft Auto tutorial zone. Our single police station right here just isn't cutting it anymore. So, the first order of business, it's time to add a second police station. Our biggest question though is going to be where to put the new police station. I mean, we have plenty of room down in here to grow, and I definitely want to work on this area and kind of evolve it, but I just didn't think that this was going to be the best spot for it. Since our other police station is right here, I wanted to have our new one be kind of as far away as we could get it while still being effective. I also knew that I wanted it to mostly service this area here, since this is probably the most heavily populated area in our city. I mean, next to our industrial zone over there probably. So if we put it somewhere around in here, that would probably make the most sense. Since we just recently redeveloped almost all of this, I didn't want to mess with that at all. Didn't want to make any changes there, at least not yet. We also have this little area right here, which would be a great spot, but I actually have plans for this at a later time. This street right here, however, this, I believe, could be open season, and I think would make a great spot for a police station right there. Maybe even a fire station too later on down the road. I think it would be the perfect position to be able to reach most of all of this right in here, as well as kind of be able to go into our industrial zone too, and even up into this side of the city. We're also probably going to need to do some demolition work here, and I'm sure our citizens won't be happy with that, but it is going to be for the greater good of the city. Next, it was just trying to figure out which police station I was going to use. I really liked this guy right here, the Northeast Police Station. I think it fits the area perfectly, and it's cheap enough at only $100,000, but we only get 5 patrol cars with that and a jail capacity of 10. It also doesn't really have any upgrades at all. There's the UK police station, but I kind of thought this one just doesn't really fit the area at all. There's the Eastern European one. Not too bad, but it takes up a lot of space. There's the modern police station. I really like this one. It's not too bad at only $180,000 with a 10,800 upkeep, 8 patrol cars, and a jail capacity of 36. Can also be upgraded with parking lots, extended, this and that, and I do kind of like that. But I really think the best option here is the city police station. It is expensive at $220,000 and a $15,000 a month upkeep, but we're going to get jail capacity of 40, 16 patrol cars, and it can be upgraded with a helipad for police helicopters as well. It's also not that big of a footprint, and I think I can make this one work pretty well with what I want to do. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into the time-lapse build. Obviously, it's not as simple as just plopping down a police station. That's the easy part. First, I needed to make room for it. I cleared out a few existing buildings in the area, ones I was never really happy with, and opened up space for our new city police station. From there, I decided to take things a step further and completely redesign this entire street, along with the one next to it. The goal was to bring it more in line with the overall style of the district. That meant shifting a few buildings around so they line up better, removing others that no longer fit, and adding in some new ones that support the vision I have for this part of the city. It's all part of redeveloping the area to feel more cohesive and intentional, something that blends in seamlessly and sets the stage for what's still to come. To finish everything off, I used the recolor mod to go in and edit our police station, give it a nice pop of color. which I think really improves upon it, making it look a little more modern instead of the dingy grayish tan concrete that the city station actually comes in. Now, adding a new, bigger police station to the city was only part of the fix. We also need to relegate funds to make sure our officers are able to work safely and efficiently at keeping the peace in Hilland Bay. So let's go ahead and pop into our budget, head over to services, and let's see, police and administration, and we're currently set at 60%. This is a holdover from where we were actually running out of cash before, and we're going in a hole. Luckily, now we're able to actually afford a little bit more, so let's jump this up to about 72%. That should do it. Alright, so now we should be getting the city's crime under control. Or at least I hope so. It will take a little bit of time to really see results. So, I decided it was best to turn our attention to our next citizen complaint, which is apparently unreliable mail service. That's not surprising since I've been kind of avoiding it. I should have added a post office a long time ago, but I didn't really have the money to waste on something like that. Turns out, wouldn't have been much of a waste. The postal service in Hilland Bay is about as effective as shouting your message into the wind. For a place this size, that's kind of impressive, in the worst possible way. So it's finally time to fix that. And I had a few different spots that were empty and large enough for our new post office. There's all the new empty area that we just created last episode over by the office park over here. We've got a lot up here by the high school and another one down here by our medical center at the end of Court Street. All would make excellent choices, but I decided the best space was going to be between the high school and the elementary school. I don't really have any specific reason except that I felt it made the most sense traffic and directions wise for our city. There's definitely no data at all to back that up. I decided to do the basic post office, as at this point the small one wouldn't have made much sense. We are way beyond that. It's expensive at $250,000 just to build it and $22,500 a month in upkeep. But it does give us 20 postal vans and a storage capacity of 100,000, which should be able to service the city for the foreseeable future. Because at this point, I'll take anything that keeps people from packing up and leaving just because their junk mail is late. And of course, I also wanted to try to do a little more here than just plop the building down. I wanted to try to detail it a little. Give it a decent amount of parking, spruce it up a little with some trees, and adding some security fencing around it, since after all, this is a government building. Alright, so we have our post office, but we're going to need mailboxes throughout the city. And I wasn't exactly sure how to go about doing this, honestly. This is the first time I have ever played around with the mail in the game. I found a few different tutorials about post offices online, but nothing that really spoke much about the mailboxes themselves. How many we need, how far apart they should be, etc. So I kinda went a little hog wild with our blue boxes. I just pretty much plopped them down on just about every single corner. I wanted to make sure that there were plenty enough for our citizens to send out their mail and make them happy. Did I place too many? Probably. Will it matter? I don't know. Maybe, but it's done now. What do you guys think? How do you do your mailboxes in your cities? Last episode, I started experimenting with districts by carving out the new office park as its own defined area, Fortune Park. That was really the first time I'd used districts in Hilland Bay, and honestly, I like how it turned out. It gave that section its own identity and helped organize things in a way that just made sense. So now I've decided to take that idea and start applying it across the rest of the city. The goal here isn't just about naming neighborhoods, though that is a nice bonus. It's about setting up our services so they're more efficient and more evenly distributed. By breaking Hilland Bay into specific districts, I can assign police, fire, health, garbage services to cover only the areas they're meant to, rather than overlapping or leaving entire zones underserved. This way, every part of the city can start to function a little more independently, and we're not relying on one central station to try and cover everything. It's a cleaner, more balanced setup, and it should help us cut down on some of those nagging service issues we've been running into. Plus, it's just one more step in making Hilland Bay feel like a real functioning city with distinct areas, proper planning, and a little bit of personality. For now, I'm just going to leave the district names as whatever the game randomly gave them, but that's something I definitely want to come back to. If you've got any ideas for names, something clever, themed, or just fun, drop them down in the comments. Love to hear what you think each area should be called. Let's give these neighborhoods some identity together. Also, if you've got any thoughts on how I've drawn the district lines out, maybe something feels a bit awkward or could be split up differently, let me know. I'm open to suggestions on how to divide things up in a way that makes more sense visually or functionally. Now we have our brand new scenic police station and our new post office up and running. We fixed the budgets for both of them. I've got all the services divided up into their specific districts that they will be handling, and I've let the simulation run for a little bit. So how are we doing now? Well, with that bright green happy face right there, I think we are doing pretty good. Crime went from a -14 to pretty much non-existent. It's not even on our list anymore. And mail service went from a -11 to a +6. I'd say that's a great return on investment. Our population is growing again. We are making some fat stacks of money right now, probably more than we ever have before. And demand is up for pretty much everything. I would say mission accomplished. And that's going to do it for today's episode. We managed to tackle some pretty big issues, addressing crime, finally getting our mail service up and running, and taking a big step forward in organizing Hilland Bay into proper functional districts. The even better news, our population is finally back on the rise, and we are making some pretty good money that's definitely going to help for the future. Next episode, we'll keep tracking that growth and make sure our services are actually doing their job. I've also been looking at a couple of areas that are just waiting to be developed. So there may be some new neighborhoods, commercial spots, or even a revisit to some older zones that could use a facelift. In the meantime, I would love to hear from you. What do you think of the districts so far? Have you got any clever, fitting names for them? Let me know in the comments. Love to bring some of your suggestions into the city. And if you think any of the district boundaries could be improved or drawn differently, I'm always open to ideas. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and leave a like. It really helps out the channel. And if you're not already subscribed, now's the perfect time. Hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss what's coming next as Hilland Bay continues to grow, change, and hopefully settle into something really special. As always, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again real soon.